Yay!
Hello.
Did you guys think I forgot again?
No.
That would have been funny if I forgot again after all that. Hi, I'm so happy to see you guys. Yay. Glad I'm back too, I guess, even though it's a snow squall out there.
It's a good indoor yoga.
Right, I know. Crime was joking. He's like, I think you're gonna need to cancel your class. It's snowing so hard. But it's just Zoom. Okay, what do you guys feel like? Do you have any special requests?
I always like the Katie special, whatever that is today.
Okay,
Yeah, sounds good.
we'll do a Katie special, whatever that is. Okay, I'm gonna spotlight myself and then I'll and thank you so much for understanding. I just got home Monday at 1 a.m. and I thought I had all my I did have all my classes subbed on Tuesday, but kind of just forgot about the Zoom skis. So
No worries.
I felt so bad when I realized. Okay, you guys are all muted, so we good to go. Let's do it. There's cutie Ruby. I was missing her while I was gone. All right, friends. Let's just start lying down today. So go ahead and just lie down on your mat. And as you lie down, you might take a moment to just kind of stretch your body out. So arms long, legs long, or even draw your knees in, kind of rock it out gently. Maybe you just want to roll out your wrists or your ankles. And then as you feel ready, come into constructive rest pose. So feet on the ground with your knees bent, and then feet a little bit wider than your hips. And you can either just let your knees point up towards the sky, or if you want to, you can let your knees fall in towards one another if that feels good to you. So for me, I tend to walk with my feet kind of little duck-footed with my toes out, heels in. So this position, feet out, knees in, is kind of counterbalancing that action. So if you're like me, you walk like a duck. This is a really good way to just kind of get that internal rotation of your inner thighs. And then it kind of changes the alignment in your pelvis. So rather than having such an anterior pelvic tilt, we're bringing it more into neutral. So just come to rest and bring one hand to your heart space, one hand to your belly. Close your eyes. And take a moment to just feel the rise and fall of your breath. See if you can feel your chest and your belly. Just expanding and contracting, rising and falling. And very intentionally, we'll move through 3 rounds of Viloma breathing. So it's that 3-part inhale, low belly, ribs, chest, and then slow exhale for about 9 or 10 seconds. And if you want to, you can exhale through your teeth. If you don't want to, you can exhale in your own way. So start by just letting go of your breath wherever you're at. And inhale just into low belly, low back. Pause. And then take that same breath up into your mid-ribs, mid-abdomen. Pause. All the way up into your chest, shoulders, upper back. Even imagine you can breathe into the crown of your head. Hold. Slow release for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way to empty, and then begin again. Inhale, low belly, low back. Mid ribs, mid back, side bodies. And then all the way up into your heart space, into your shoulders, into the crown of your head. Hold in fullness. As you hold the breath, see if you can relax a little bit around it. And then slow release for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round. Low belly, low back. Mid ribs, mid abdomen, mid back. Heart space, neck, shoulders, crown of your head. Hold. And slowly let it go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This time just inhale as big as you can. Huge inhalation. Feel your belly expand up into your hand. Big sigh out your mouth. Just let it go. Seal your lips now and start to cultivate your Ujjayi breath. So in and out through your nose by way of the back of your throat. And see if you can still feel your chest, your ribs, your belly expanding with your inhales. And exhales, feel everything. Just kind of let go. Let your belly drop, let your chest drop a little bit. Maybe at the bottom of your exhale, you find a connection to your center by drawing your belly button down towards your spine, down towards the ground. So be here for just a moment, connecting to your own breath. Slow, steady, spacious inhales. And long, strong exhales all the way to emptiness. Good, you guys. Keep that breath moving and flowing, and draw both of your knees in towards your belly. So lift your feet up, draw your knees in, and just gently rock it out from side to side for a moment. Give your low back a little massage against the ground. And then after a few rocks from side to side, let your knees just fall over to the right, left arm out to the left. Gaze up or over your left shoulder. Big deep breaths down into your belly. If you want, you can bring your right hand to the outside of your left thigh and just apply a little bit of gentle pressure. Just notice how your spine feels, your shoulders or your back body. Notice if there's any tightness. And if so, specifically, visualize your breath moving into those tight areas. Take a couple more rounds on this side. And then end of your next exhale, bring your knees up through center. And take a little rock. Give your low back a little massage, just kind of neutralize your spine and your pelvis. And then when you're ready, other side. So knees fall to the left, right arm reaches out to the right. Gaze up or over your right shoulder. And as much as you are able to, keep the backs of your shoulders rooted down. So your right shoulder, if it lifts a little bit, no big deal, but have the intention of pressing the back of your right shoulder down towards the ground. Try also not to let it move up towards your ear. So if your shoulder is right up next to your ear, see if you can pull it down, lengthen through your neck. Take about 3 more big, deep breaths down into your belly. And then when you feel pretty much even on both sides, come back to center. And again, find that little rock. And if you don't like rocking and rolling along your spine, you can find your way up into a seated position however you want to. If you'd like to rock and roll with me, grab your shins or the backs of your thighs and start to rock and roll forward and back a few times. So try to make this movement smooth. There's a little bit of core engagement involved. And just move with a little bit of control. So you are building up momentum, but you still feel like it still feels like you could stop at any time if you wanted to. After a few rocks, just rock up and find a comfortable seat. So maybe you feel comfortable just with your sit bones on the ground. If you want, you can use a bolster, grab a pillow or a blanket or a block and sit up on top of it. So maybe easy pose with one ankle in front of the other, or maybe even a kneeling position or cross-legged, whatever works best for you. And then just resting your arms down by your sides, reconnect to your breath, slow and steady. And each inhalation, start to reach your arms out as far as you can, palms face the sky, and then all the way up. Pinky fingers are spiraling in towards each other. With each exhalation, reach your arms out, your palms face down, and then return them back down by your sides. So just start to move with your breath. Just like a moving meditation, really simple moving meditation, feeling the mobility in your shoulders, feeling into the length of your arms. So you're reaching out as far as you can, like you have a great big wingspan. And try to keep your torso nice and still. So you're not moving, you're not rounding your back or arching your spine. You're just nice and tall. And if it's hard to reach your arms straight up, you might bend your elbows a little bit as you reach your arms straight up. So if you need to, a little bend in your elbows is totally fine. As much as you can, keep the length in your arms and even reach through your fingertips. So how much awareness can you bring into just this simple movement? Slow, deep breaths and no hurry as you move back and forth. So part of the practice, to me at least, is being patient, being present with each movement, not trying to just rush through it and get to what's next. Take 1 or 2 more rounds, just like this. And then next time your arms are stretching and reaching up, pause right there. So arms to the sky. And then next time you exhale, just twist to your right. Bring your right hand down behind you, left hand to the outside of your right knee or thigh. And if you're sitting up on top of a prop, you might bring your right hand to your low back and just kind of press it into your low back. You also might use a block underneath your right hand. And then option to gaze back over your right shoulder and take some big deep breaths. Good, you guys. Take a couple more, all the way to empty with your exhales. And then next time you breathe in, come back to center. If your legs are crossed or one ankle is in front of the other, just switch the cross of them. So opposite leg in front, opposite ankle in front. Next, inhale, arms to the sky, stretch tall, and then twist the other direction. So to the left, or just make sure you get both sides. Your back hand is either on the ground or pressing into your low back, or maybe you even bring it up to a block if needed. So try not to lean back onto your back hand, but just use that hand behind you to help you sit up even taller. See if you can broaden through your shoulders and your collarbone. So if it feels like your heart is closing off or contracting, getting smaller, see if you can shift that. Open through your heart, lift through your chest. Big deep breaths down into your belly. Use your exhales to gently work your twist a little deeper. Last couple of rounds. And end of your next exhale, unwind, slowly come forward to hands and knees, tabletop position. So all fours. Take a few rounds of cat-cows, inhale to arch, and exhale to round. And if you want to, you can make this more intuitive or more creative. So if there's something that would feel really good to you, maybe circling your hips around, or kind of taking those barrel rolls with your torso, feel free to explore and just get curious. Notice what your body is feeling today. What feels a little bit tight or stiff? What feels really good? What feels really strong or really open? So just noticing what's going on inside of you. How are you today physically, emotionally, energetically? And slowly start to come back to a neutral spine position. From your neutral spine, let's thread the needle with our right arm. So knees, hips width distance apart, or even a little bit wider. Right arm out to the right, all the way up to the sky. Big inhale. And exhale to thread it through. So reach, reach, reach. Come down to rest on the outside of your shoulder and the outside of your head. You can use your left hand against the ground. You can see I'm lifting up to my left fingertips and kind of pushing down. That's a nice option. You might even wrap your left arm behind your back, or sometimes I like to interlace my fingers. Use my left arm to kind of pull my right arm just a little further. Breathe into your back body, spacious breaths. Good work. Last round. Left hand to the ground if it's lifted. Inhale to unthread your right arm. Reach it all the way up one more time. And then set it back down. For a moment, downward facing dog. So tuck your toes. Lift up. Once you're in your down dog, bring your feet out to the width of your mat. So mat width distance apart with your feet. And then we're just going to shift our weight around. So nothing is lifting, we're just shifting our weight. So press really, really firmly into your right hand, your right fingertips, and then see if you can press back through your left heel as you shift your hips a little bit to the left. So really work the length in the back of your left leg. Stay in your down dog position. So your hips are still lifted. You're not coming forward into a plank at all. Keep your hips really high, your spine really long. Your left heel doesn't have to touch the ground, but it's working towards the ground. And just breathe into the length in the back of your left leg. One more round. And then end of your exhale, switch sides. So left hand pushes down firmly, press back through your right heel and shift your weight over to the right just a bit. Breathe. Big spacious breaths. You might visualize your breath working its way down the back of your right leg, creating space, softening the muscles. Good job, you guys. Nicely done. One last breath here. And then end of your exhale, just bring your weight back to center and set your knees gently on the ground again. We'll come into thread the needle with our left arm. So knees hips width distance or just a little bit wider. Left arm out to the left, all the way up to the sky. Breathe in and thread it through on your exhalation. So reach underneath, come down to rest gently. Breathe into your back body. Whatever variation you'd like to take on this side. Big, deep breaths, couple more. And if you do happen to have your right hand lifted, set your right hand back on the ground now. Next time you breathe in, unthread your left arm, reach it out, reach it up, open up. And then left hand comes down, downward facing dog. All right, in your down dog, once again, walk your feet out wide. You might shorten your stance just a teeny tiny bit. So if you want to, you can walk your feet just a little bit closer to your hands, but try not to walk them in too much. We're gonna take our right hand, reach back to grab the outside of our left ankle. If that feels like too much, you can grab the outside of your calf or even your thigh, so it's a little less intense, but get as low as you can, and then use that as gentle leverage. So pull gently against your leg and see if you can twist, gaze underneath your left armpit. Hips are still high, spine is still long, and your left shoulder is really strong. Push into the ground with your left fingertips. Breathe. Good. End of your next exhale, let it go and just switch to the other side. So right hand comes down, reach back with your left hand. Reach around to grab the outside of your ankle or wherever you can reach. So you can grab as high as you need to. Keep pressing your hips up and back. Gaze underneath your right armpit, right shoulder is strong, right hand is pressing. Breathe into your belly, use your exhale to twist gently. Good job, you guys. Last big breath. And end of your exhale, bring your left hand back to the ground. Keep your feet out wide like they are and start to walk your hands back. So you're coming into a forward fold at the back of your mat. Feet are wide, all 10 toes face forward. Inhale to a halfway lift position. And guess what? We're going to take another twist. So from here, bring your right fingertips to the ground underneath your chest, or you can use a block under your right hand. Left arm to the sky. Bend your right knee as much as you need to, but with your legs this wide, you might be able to keep your right leg pretty straight. So you do what feels best to you. Option to wrap your left arm behind your back if you'd like. It's like a slightly wide-legged forward fold. And then adding a twist in our halfway lift. Take one more big deep breath, work your twists. End of your exhale, just switch sides. So left hand comes down. I'm up on my left fingertips. You might even use a block under your left hand. Bend your left knee as much as you need to. So focusing more on the length in your right leg, but if both legs can stay straight, awesome. Your butt is reaching back, crown of your head is reaching forward. Option to wrap your right arm behind your back. You might even be able to grab hold of the front of your left thigh. Big, deep breaths. Couple more. Good job. End of your next exhalation. Just let it all go. forward fold, and then ragdoll pose. So grab opposite elbows or even fold your arms overhead and see if you can sway side to side today. So butt is lifting as high as it will go. Weight is just slightly forward in your feet. And imagine you're truly a ragdoll and you're being dangled by your belly button. So there's a rope attached to your belly button. You're hanging from it and you're just dangling side to side, swinging side to side, almost like a pendulum of a clock would sway side to side. Head is heavy, neck is relaxed, face is soft. Might bounce a little bit up and down. All right, release your elbows. Keep your feet nice and wide. Come into a halfway lift position again. And then from your halfway lift, start to crawl your hands forward to the top of your yoga mat until you are in a plank position. So wrists underneath your shoulders, hips level with your shoulders, feet are wide. I know it feels a little bit funky. So from your plank, see if you can float your left foot off the ground, just an inch or so, nothing else changes. Left foot lifts, press with both hands. Set your left foot down. See if you can lift your right foot up. Just hover it above the ground. Belly stays strong, arms are strong. Set your right foot down. Now see if you can lift your left arm and reach it forward. Nothing else changes. Good. Set your left hand down. Keep breathing. See if you can lift your right arm, reach it forward. Nothing else changes. Big deep breaths. Set your right hand down. Bring your feet in a little closer. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly lower to your belly. Spider-Man Cobra. Hands come out wide. Framing your yoga mat. Lift to your fingertips. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, twist to your right side and kind of dip your left shoulder down. Should feel relatively good. Inhale back through center. Little tone in your belly, so navel to spine. Press through your pelvis and your shoelaces. Lift your heart. Exhale, twist the other direction. With your breath, one more time each way. No rush. So move at your own pace, feeling whatever there is to feel. Feel into the mobility of your shoulders, your spine, your front body, your back body, your side bodies. Eventually, an inhale brings you back to center. And whenever you're ready, you can just let it go. So hold for as long as you want. Eventually, relax back down. And find your way into downward facing dog. And this time, whatever you want to do in your down dog, so maybe you just pedal out your heels. Maybe you give your head a shake. Yes, no. Maybe you even want to lift one leg and then the other leg. Really feeling into your down dog, making any little adjustments to be more efficient in your own body. Take one more big inhale. And then as you exhale, this time gaze forward, step, tiptoe, or hop, top of your mat forward fold. Halfway lift once you've arrived, breathe in. And exhale, bow, let it go. Root through your feet, lead with your heart, take it all the way to stand. Arms reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. All right, we're gonna get right into some balancing. So right foot is your foundation. Hands can stay at your heart for now. Lift your left knee, standing staff. So find your balance, hug in with your inner thighs, flex through your left toes. Slow, steady breath, take one more round. And then as you breathe in, see if you can reach your arms up and slowly work into a low lunge. So slowly is the key word. You're reaching your left foot back. Maybe you come into kind of a warrior 3 for just a split second. And then left foot to the back of your mat, hands to the ground. So frame your front foot. Once you are in your lunge, make any adjustments you need to. And then find a revolved lunge. So left hand stays down, right arm to the sky. Lots of twisting today. Breathe out into your belly. Spine is long. Legs are strong. Hug in with your inner thighs. See if you can especially feel the strength in your back leg. Take one more round. Maybe gaze up at your right fingers. End of your exhale, let that go. And walk your hands all the way over to the left long edge of your yoga mat. So feet parallel, both legs straight. Halfway lift. And then from your halfway lift, bring your hands to your hips. Press into your feet. Rise all the way up to stand. Good. So standing, facing towards the side of your mat. Rotate your toes out, your heels in. And then bend your knees. Come into this wide-legged squat position. Hands to the tops of your thighs. Adjust if you need to so that your ankles are straight down from your knees. So you don't want your ankles in closer than your knees. You don't want your ankles out farther than your knees. Just right underneath. And then sit down as low as you can. And imagine you're trying to press your knees back behind you. So really root down into the outer edges of your feet and just take little sways for a moment, side to side. Sway it out. Slow, deep breaths. Find stillness. Center your weight. Inhale, standing cow pose. So stick your butt out. Reach your heart forward. Lift your gaze. Exhale. Twist towards the back of your mat. Your right shoulder dips down. Gaze back over left shoulder. Press your knees open really wide. Breathe down into your belly. Next inhale, come through center, lift your heart. Twist towards the front, exhale. Hold for a moment, breathe. Keep working your knees open as wide as they will go. Stay low, inhale back to center. One more time with breath, exhale, twist to the back. Inhale, center, lift your heart. Exhale, twist to the front. Inhale, center, and then from here, straighten your legs, parallel your feet. So bring your heels back out, and then arms reach up, breathe in. Exhale, swan dive down, stick your butt out, reach your heart forward, then let it all go. Take about 5 rounds, wherever you'd like to go with your wide-legged forward fold. So you can work your fold, or you can explore some other type of movement. You explore some different poses, Skandasana, headstand if you're feeling it today. I'm just grabbing the outer edges of my feet and using that as gentle leverage to deepen my fold. If you're in the fold and just hanging out there, try not to rock back into your heels, but keep your weight just slightly forward. Last couple breaths. Next inhale, come back to a halfway lift position with your fingertips on the ground. Walk your hands to the top of your space. Rotate your toes to face forward. And then from here, root into your right foot, standing splits, left leg to the sky. So just a one-legged forward fold, left leg strong, left foot active so you can spread your toes. Relax your neck, lift through your belly button. So try not to sit into your right hip, but lift out of your right hip by using more core. Take one more big inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, tiny little potato bug ball. So bring your left foot down next to right foot, big toes touch, and then tuck and curl. Get small, butt towards the ground, nose towards your knees. You can intentionally lift your heels up high, or you can intentionally try to press your heels down. Option to wrap your arms around the fronts of your shins and give yourself a really big squeeze. Take one more deep breath. Feel your breath in your back body, your back ribs. Inhale, halfway lift, heels down, spine long. Exhale, fold. Root through your feet all the way to stand. Arms reach up, big full body stretch. Hands to your heart, exhale. Okie doke. Left foot is our base this time. Lift your right knee up, standing staff. Flex your toes. Inner thighs are hugging in. Focus your gaze perhaps, find your drishti. Slow deep breaths. And then as you're ready, reach your arms up and start to transition back to your low lunge, super slowly, super intentionally, maybe even hitting a warrior 3 for a split second before you come down to land. So eventually right toes to the back of your mat, low lunge position. Take a moment to adjust your feet if you need to. And then we'll move it into revolve lunge. So right hand on the ground, left arm to the sky, twist. Legs strong, spine long, and then breathe down into your belly. Last couple rounds, really use your exhales to twist a little bit deeper from the inside. End of your next exhale, let that go. Walk your hands over to the right long edge of your mat. Parallel your feet, straighten out your legs. Inhale, halfway lift position. Bring your hands to your hips and rise all the way up to stand. We're gonna do something completely different on this side. So from here, pivot your left toes forward, bend your left knee, come into a warrior 2. So if you need to make any adjustments in your legs for your warrior 2, feel free to do so. And then just settle in. Weight is nice and centered. Your front knee, your left knee is tracking towards your pinky toe. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Reach up, reach back and lengthen your left side. Right hand can be on your hip. Sometimes I like to take my right arm behind my back. Reach my right hand forward. Keep a deep bend in your left knee and breathe into your left side body. Soften your face. One more huge breath. And then come through warrior 2. Reach forward as far as you can, side angle pose. Left elbow to left thigh or left hand towards the ground. Right arm can reach straight up, or right arm might reach forward, bicep next to your ear. Stay rooted through both feet and especially the outer edges. Heart is open, hips are open, shoulders are open. Maybe you take your gaze slightly up. One more round. Good job, you guys. Next inhale, come back to your warrior 2. Now, straighten your front leg, parallel your feet again. So turn your left toes towards the long edge of your mat. And we're gonna switch to the other side. So your right toes now, turn towards the back edge of your mat. Bend your right knee. You're in a warrior 2 facing the back of your mat. Take a moment to settle in, adjust your stance if you need to. Track your front knee towards your pinky toe. Reverse warrior. Reach up, reach back, lengthening through your right side body. Keep that deep bend in your right knee and keep tracking your right knee open. Don't let it fall in. Whatever variation you want to take on this side, lengthen through your right waistline, right rib cage, the space between those little spaces between your ribs, your intercostal muscles. Breathe into those, stretch them out. One more deep breath. Come through warrior 2, and then reach your right arm forward, side angle. So your variation of this pose, it doesn't even necessarily have to be what you did on the other side. Left arm might reach straight up, or bicep next to your ear. And everything is open, hips, shoulders, heart. Breathe. Track your front knee towards your pinky toe. Don't let it collapse inward. Last couple of rounds. Perhaps even gaze up slightly. Good job. From the press of your feet, rise up, straighten your right leg, parallel your feet again so they're both facing towards the long edge of your mat. All of your toes are facing towards the long edge of your mat. Arms to the sky. Inhale. And exhale, dive down, wide-legged forward fold, about 5 breaths. Anywhere you want to take it. So feel free to move around. Feel free to just be still and breathe. And just noticing what's there, noticing what's coming and going. I'm just allowing it all. Feel free to take a big open mouth sigh, last big breath. And then halfway lift, fingertips on the ground, inhale. As you exhale, walk your hands forward, rotate your toes forward, front foot roots down, back leg to the sky for standing splits. Try not to sit into your left hip. Hug in with your left inner thigh, lift using the strength in your belly. Use some core to take weight out of your left leg. Right leg is strong and powerful, so you can even spread your right toes. Neck is relaxed, head is heavy. You might even find what we call Jalandhara Bandha, our throat lock. So you really feel and hear the breath a lot as it moves through your throat. Take one more inhale, reach your right leg high. Exhale, tiny little potato bug ball at the top of your mat. So bring your big toes to touch, tuck and curl. Round your spine. So we want to be in spinal flexion, curling in. Heels can lift on purpose, or heels can press towards the ground on purpose. Maybe wrap your arms around your shins and squeeze. Breathe into your back body. Good work. Next inhale, halfway lift, heels down, spine long. Exhale, fold. Root through your feet. Let's take it all the way up. Big stretch at the top. Inhale. Hands to heart. Exhale. Feel free to widen your stance if you like your feet hips width distance apart. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. Roll your shoulders back and down. Shoulder blades hug your spine. Maybe your palms even press together. And then imagine your elbows are magnetized. Start to reach your hands back. And start to add just the slightest little back bend. So lift your heart. Hug in with your inner thighs. Press your hips gently forward. One more inhale here. Keep your clasp and exhale. Hinge at your hips. Dive down. Forward fold. Neck relaxes at the bottom, head hangs. See if you can lift your butt higher, lift your knuckles higher. Feel that opening through the fronts of your shoulders. Give your head, if you want to, a little shake. Yes, no, maybe so. Really nice, you guys. One more inhale, lift your knuckles. Exhale, hands to your low back. Gently release your clasp, let your arms come down. Give them a little shake out. Next time you breathe in, halfway lift position. So realign your spine, back of your neck nice and long, gaze down rather than forward. Exhale, plant your hands, feet back. So plank position, push the ground away, inhale, and then exhale all the way to your belly. And from our belly, we'll take shoulder pigeon. So reach your right arm straight out to the right, palm face down, roll up onto your right side. I'm bringing my left foot down behind me. Sometimes I like to bring my left foot out in front of me. It feels a little better on my low back. If there's any other variation you want to take, go for it. Maybe you even reach your left arm up and back. Like you're trying to touch the backs of your hands. Or you could bring your forearm across your low back. And then breathe. Make sure you can relax your head either on the ground, or you could use a pillow or blanket under your head if that feels better. But you don't want to be lifting your head and straining through your neck. See if you can breathe really big, and if there is any space inside of you where it feels like your breath gets stuck, see if you can adjust so that your breath can flow more freely. About 3 to 5 more rounds here. Soften your face, unclench your jaw. End of your next exhale, ease your way back onto your belly. Take your time, so not rushing to the next side, but as you feel ready, we will move over onto our left side. So your left arm will reach out, your head turns the opposite direction, roll up onto your left side body. Any variation you want to take on this side, anywhere you want to go with it. Head is relaxed down, face is soft, breath is spacious. Three to four more rounds. And take one last huge breath, open mouth exhale if you want. And then slowly roll back onto your belly. Nice and easy. From your belly, bring your forehead to the ground and kind of draw your chin in towards your chest just a little bit. Bring your hands to your low back and interlace your fingers. Exhale all your air out. And then inhale, lift everything up that you can. Lift your chest, lift your legs. With your fingers interlaced, see if you can even lift your hands up away from your body and reach your knuckles back. Keep the back of your neck long, hug in with your inner thighs. Active feet, spread your toes. Feel all those strong back muscles working to help you lift up. Imagine you're trying to rotate your inner thighs in and up towards the ceiling. Soften your face, use that strength in your back, lift higher, one more inhale. Exhale, let it go. Rest your head to either side. Take your knees out wider than your hips, or your feet can come out wide as well. And then bend your knees, windshield wiper your shins. You can do whatever you want, whatever feels best with your arms. Just slowly breathe down into your low back. Good job, you guys. All right, set your shins down. Bring your hands to frame your mid-ribs. However you want to transition, down dog. So you could move through tabletop. You could take a reverse push-up, then lift your hips. Downward facing dog, ujjayi breath. Inhale your right leg to the sky. And then open up your hip. So bend your knee, reach your knee out and up towards the ceiling. Feel that opening in the front of your right hip. You might be squeezing through your outer right glutes. And I even like to imagine there's a rolled up washcloth behind my right knee. And I'm trying to squeeze it and wring it out. Lift your right knee a little bit higher, one more in breath. Just a little bit of core. Exhale, right knee, left elbow, or as close as you can come. Inhale, three-legged dog. You can open your hip if you want. Exhale, right knee, right elbow, or aim for your armpit, aim high. Inhale, three-legged dog. And then listen, moving into a pigeon pose. Exhale, right shin to the top of your mat. Set your body down. Take a moment to find what we call the integrity of the pose. So the structure, the strength. Front hip pulls back, back hip pulls forward. Keep pulling your right hip back as you reach your heart forward and down. Once you are bowing forward, you might scoot your back knee back to go a little deeper. Back toes can stay tucked under, or you can untuck them. but you might gaze back and make sure your ankle isn't twisting or sickling. So if your toes are untucked, make sure your toes are reaching just straight out from your ankle. We'll be here for a while, about 7 to 10 breaths. Send your breath all the way down into your outer right hip. Keep energetically trying to drag your right hip back. Active through your front toes, like you're trying to spread through your front toes. And what that does, it'll lock all the little tendons and ligaments in place so you're not pulling them around the joint. Good job, friends. About 3 or 4 more. Open mouth exhales, always welcome. And let's all, with our last breath, inhale as big as we can. Hold in that fullness, maybe even an extra sip, send it down into your hips. Open your mouth, let it go. Ha. All right, we're gonna transition back to 3-legged dog. So lift your upper body, plant your hands, curl your back toes under, push into the ground, right leg back and up, give it a nice little shake out. And then option only if you would like to flip your dog here. So right foot comes down behind you, right arm forward, heart forward, hips lift, back muscles strong. Couple rounds in your back bend, and then everybody meet in down dog. Walk it out. If you want to move through your own vinyasa, please feel free. Back in your down dog. Inhale, take your left leg to the sky. And then bend your left knee, open up through your hip joint. So active through your left foot, perhaps squeezing your invisible washcloth behind your left knee. Your arms, your shoulders are still strong. Your belly button is pulling up. You're still lifting from your center. Take one more in breath. Exhale, left knee, right elbow, that little bit of core work. Inhale, 3-legged. Open your hip if you want. Exhale, left to left. Aim as high as you can on your arm. Push the ground away. Inhale, back up. Now, pigeon. Exhale, left shin forward. Gently bring your body down. Take your time. Find the structure. Hug towards midline. Left hip pulls back. So it's like somebody's got their hand in the little crease right here in front of your hip. They're pushing back as you take your heart forward. So you don't want your hip to come forward with your heart. You want to keep pulling your hip back as your heart moves forward and down. Back knee can scoot back further. Toes can be tucked or untucked. If you untuck them, try to keep that length through your ankle and your foot. So your ankle's not twisting, your toes aren't pointing in towards midline, they're pointing straight towards the back of your mat. Big, intentional breaths. Spacious breaths. Oh my gosh, you guys, the time has gone so fast today. Take about 5 more rounds. Open mouth exhales at any time. And for your last breath, inhale as big as you can and hold at the top. Take that little extra sip, send it down into your left hip. And open your mouth, let it go. Lift your upper body. Plant your hands, spread your fingers, tuck your back toes, push down and take your left leg back and up, that gentle shake out. And after a few shakes, if you want to flip your dog as a counter pose, go for it. Heart forward, hips lift, back muscles hug around your spine. After a couple rounds in your flip dog or wild thing, downward facing dog, walk it out. If you want to move through one last vinyasa on your own, feel free. We'll meet in a child's pose. So after you walked out your down dog or taken one final vinyasa, just sit back. Hips to your heels, forehead to your mat. Knees can be wide or together. You might move your hips just a little bit from side to side, kind of swivel them from side to side. You might even roll your forehead side to side. Good, everybody. Hands and knees down onto your back. However you want to get there, come all the way down. And then once you're on your back, draw your knees in, rock it out. After a few rocks, happy baby pose. Grab hold of your feet. Soles of your feet face the sky. Flex your toes. See if you can even get your little baby pinky toe to flex back. Pull down with your arms, press up through your heels. You can rock here. You can explore, play. So maybe straightening one leg and then the other leg, or even both legs at the same time. Sometimes I like to bring my legs together, kind of like a forward fold on my back. Sometimes I like to bring the soles of my feet together, pull them in towards my chest and press my knees away. So it's like Supta Baddha Konasana, but with your feet in the air. So any little bits of exploration here that would feel good. And then give yourself about 5 more rounds or so to find your way into your final relaxation. So any other stretches, poses, movements that your body is calling for. Maybe just a nice big full body stretch. Maybe you squeeze your knees in, wrap your arms around your shins, give yourself one last big hug. And then no rush, but eventually coming into corpse pose or whatever position you would like to take for your final relaxation. And then as you settle in, just let your breath become completely effortless. Let your body just relax into the ground, let it give in. And as you allow yourself to just settle and rest here, I'll read you just a little reading. This is by This is by Jeff Brown. It's from his book called Grounded Spirituality. We are powerful beyond measure and so deeply vulnerable at the same time. This may seem like a dichotomy, but it isn't. We have misunderstood real power. It has been seen as a force that is assertive, non-surrendering, pushing through. This is not real power. This is simply willfulness. Real power is something else. It's receptivity, vulnerability, the courage to keep your heart open on the darkest of days, the strength to fill it all, even when the odds are stacked against you. Real power is showing up with your heart on your sleeve and absolutely refusing to waste one moment of your life hidden behind edginess and armor. The art of enheartened presence. That's power. As you rest, can you allow yourself to feel open? Your heart to feel open. So not building up armor or putting up walls, but just allowing yourself to surrender, to let life flow through you. And it's 1 o'clock. So instead of bringing you out of your Shavasana today, I'm just going to leave you guys right here, and you can rest in your Shavasana for as long as you want to. So if you have 10 more minutes, you want to stay in your Shavasana for 10 more minutes, go for it. If you have only 30 more seconds, stay in your Shavasana for 30 more seconds. And then on your own, close your practice for yourself. So leaving you here, thank you again so much for hopping on today. I'll see you next Tuesday. I promise I won't forget. Namaste.